Our story begins in a small New York apartment. New York City, Brooklyn. New York City, Brooklyn. Everybody's seen the hoarder's house, right? Whether you've seen the show on TV or everybody has that one friend that has a real dirty, like disgusting apartment. So it's not so hard for you to imagine. Picture like a hoarder's house, like a storage facility that was abandoned a long time ago, full of just junk. And that's this man's apartment, James Geller. You know, we start off in his kitchen. You can see the pile of dishes with old food caked on to the point where it resembles more of cement than anything actually edible. I mean, the utensils, I wouldn't cook for someone else with those utensils. Now we move our way to the living room, and you could just smell the old age in that apartment. You ever been in one of those places where it just smells old? And you see James Geller sitting in a lazy boy, and looks like he was from the 70s. And he's just sitting there with a 10 o'clock shadow, forget a 5 o'clock shadow. His teeth don't look like they've been brushed since the advent of the toothbrush. I mean, this man is a hot mess. And he's just sitting there watching something on an old TV from the 90s, like one of those big tube TVs. And he's just watching this video. You know, watching it and then going back and watching it again, rewinding, watching it again, rewind. That's all he's doing, is just watching this and rewinding, watching it. So we go and look at the TV. We look at the TV and what do we see? We see what used to be a really, really popular night show. One of those talk shows that comes on at night. And it really, you know, it must have been like, it was really big in its heyday. And if you look, it's James Geller. He seems to be one of the guests on the panel. And so the host asks him, "Hey, James, you know, would you mind doing a reading on one of our audience members?" "Oh, no problem." He gets up and he does a cold reading, randomly picks an audience member from the audience, and just boom, spot on, starts giving this guy details that no one else could possibly know. And everyone's just blown away, everyone in the audience starts clapping, you know, like, couldn't believe their minds. He's just standing there on stage glowing. He's so happy and pleased with himself. And then all of a sudden the host interrupts and he's like, "Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems we've intercepted a transmission. We want to go ahead and play that for you now." And they play this transmission and you could hear a woman's voice. Must have been his wife. You hear a woman's voice and she's telling him all the details that he was telling to the guy. Man, at that moment, the whole crowd goes quiet. I mean, this guy just got humiliated and just got exposed in front of everyone, not just in the audience, but national television. Everyone at home is watching, and this guy couldn't be more embarrassed, more humiliated, more defeated. And he just sat there, and the host is like, "Well, James, is there anything you want to say about this?" And he's just standing there, his face frozen like a deer in the headlights. And, you know, that's it. That's what he's watching over and over again, just going back and forth, watching that same scene replay infinitely. But he stops, he takes a break, you know, his message machine is flashing, old answering machine with one of those cordless phones that nobody really uses anymore. And he hits the machine, hits the play messages, and the first message comes on, beep. "Well, James, this is your landlord, and, you know, I'm tired of running after you for the beep." Yep, he flies forward to the next one. Next message. "Hi, James, have you read the good book lately? Or you've thought about life after death?" Beep, goes on to the next message. "Hi, Dad, this is Christine, your daughter. I'm just calling because I'm in town and it's been a couple of years, we haven't talked, and I really miss you, and I figured maybe I'd try and come by today and maybe we could catch up. You know, I miss you, Dad, and I love you." Beep. Wow. At that moment, James just stops and he's kind of happy for a moment. You know, he's like, "Wow, okay." So, you know, James spends, of course, the rest of his afternoon cleaning up as much as he can, starts taking stuff, tossing it over here, tossing it over there, sweeping the dust under the rug, taking the dishes, hiding them in the cabinets, trying to, like, you know, make the place look as livable as possible. So he finishes, whatever, and he sits down back on his lazy boy, and eventually he dozes off. Well, James wakes up and it's 3:11 in the morning. 3:11 in the morning. And he's wondering what happened. He's kind of disappointed. Phone rings. He picks up the phone. Hello? 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 Nothing. Puts the phone down. Hangs up. Phone starts to ring again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. He's not answering again, huh? Beep. Message goes off. It's his daughter. Hi, Dad. It's me again. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. I'm sorry. I just wanted to let you know I love you, Dad. Beep. James is sad now, and guess it's all back to his old routine. Picks up his remote and goes right back to the same thing he always does, back and forth on that same old video, back and forth, until he falls asleep. Then all of a sudden, James is woken up. Phone's ringing. He just doesn't feel like answering it again. He doesn't want any more disappointments, right? Beep. Lets the answer machine take off. Hi, Mr. Geller, this is Detective Andrews. I'm calling because your daughter was in an accident. He picks up the phone. Hello, this is James. Yes, hi, Mr. Geller. Your daughter was involved in a very bad car accident. She passed at about 8 p.m. last night. I'm sorry for your loss. If you can, we'd like you to come down and before he could even finish, James just hangs up the phone. He just stares. Just stares. James spends the rest of the morning, the rest of the afternoon, the rest of the next 2 days just frozen in time. Of course, the funeral comes and goes, and James didn't attend. No, James just sat there in his lazy boy in his Brooklyn, New York City apartment. Just lost in time. Phone ringing all the time, people leaving messages wondering what happened to him, where he is he gonna show up? He doesn't care. But then all of a sudden, he hears a knock. There's a knock at the door. Oh, who's that? James goes to the door, looks out the peephole, doesn't see anybody. Opens the door, nobody. But then he looks down, and he sees a book. James picks up the book, closes the door, goes back inside, sits back down in his lazy boy, reads the cover of the book. The book's title is Awaken Your Inner Psychic Abilities. Be able to communicate with the dead. Oh, well, at first it seems like a novelty book, right? Like, come on. But then James can't help but remember, as he tosses the book to the side, he can't help but remember that message at 3:11 that his daughter left him. And he still can't wrap it around his head how a dead person can make a phone call and leave a message. So that maybe there's something to this. Maybe there's something to this. So he picks that book back up and he starts reading it. Not only does he read it, but James spends the next 3 months reading that book cover to cover, trying to master the contents within it, to the point where he thinks he's got it. He reaches that point where he's really believes he's awakened that inner psychic ability. Like maybe he's done it. He really feels like he's done it. But he's got to test this out, right? So he's got a neighbor. This old lady, she's lost her cat. Cat's been gone for like a week. I mean, everyone thinks the cat's dead. So he goes next door, knock, knock, knock. Neighbor opens the door. James. Yeah, Miss, whatever, we'll call her Miss Olsen, right? Miss Olsen, I know your cat's been missing. I'd like to try and find her if you'd allow me to. Oh, sure, come inside. He goes inside, does his thing, And it's like, it's so weird. For the first time in his entire life, it's almost as if he could feel this energy, this aura, this presence. It's like the air around him has become a blanket of energy that just guides him. It's like pulling him. It's like an unknown voice, an unheard voice just narrating his path, just guiding him. And he follows this pull, this draw, until he reaches a spot outside. and he sees the cat. The cat's eating a dead squirrel. Picks up the cat and brings it back to his neighbor. Neighbor is, of course, happy, but let me tell you, not as happy as Mr. Geller, because I mean, this is a pinnacle moment. I mean, this proves that this book worked. I mean, for the first time, he not only did it, he felt it. I mean, you can't deny that. So he's excited. Nobody's more excited in the freaking universe than Mr. James Geller right now. I mean, this guy's about to explore out the skin of his body. You know, he doesn't know what to do. So, you know, of course, super excited. He goes and he makes his attempt to communicate with his daughter. You know, he tries to hone in these psychic abilities. Finally have that last conversation that he thought he'd never have a chance to have, to express his regret and tell her how sorry he was. That he wasn't a better father and able to be there for her in life. You know, that was just, that's all he wanted. Just to have that last word. Just to say, I'm sorry. Because as we all know, you know, that happens all too often. People pass. You know, we never get to have that last word. To tell them we're sorry, to say I love you. And that's all James thought about right now. So he gets ready, he gets everything prepared, and he goes and he tries to communicate. And you know, for the next 2 days he tries. And he just can't understand why it's not working. Why is it not working? You know, the only thing that comes into James' head is, well, maybe there's no life after death. Maybe, just like he was a fraud for so many years, maybe this whole life after death thing is one big sham. Well, I can't tell you how heavy, I can't even describe to you unless you've been through this situation yourself. I can't even describe to you how heavy his heart sank that night. That second night that he failed, you know, his soul, if he could have sold it to the devil at that moment, he would have just to have that moment, and he couldn't have that. Because James was convinced now that there's nothing there. There's no life after death. Man, you can't get more defeated than that, huh? I mean, he's as empty as you can be right now. There's just nothing damn left in this world anymore. There's nothing left in this world anymore. He's lost it all now. Now what the hell is someone in that disposition do? Well, the only thing you can do, well, James goes, fills up the tub. You know, he's just about had it. This is it. Fills up that tub, lights some candles. You know, James sits down and has a damn good meal, his last meal. Takes one last look at some of the photos, some of the stuff he has hanging around there of his glory days. Takes a look at the old picture of him and his daughter. A tear comes down his cheek. James just walks over, marches right into that bathroom. As determined, more determination than he's ever had in his life, really. I mean, this is it. He was gonna pay for his sins. He was gonna pay for his failures. He was gonna pay for not expressing that final sentiment to his daughter before she died. He was gonna pay for all that. Now James gets in that warm water, slides right in. And at first, you know, he's scared. Because now he really believes there's just nothing out there but oblivion. But then, you know, that fear is soon settled and overshadowed by his anger himself for being such a SHIT person. And he takes, now, you know, he's more determined than ever again. He takes that razor blade and he slits his wrist. And as James bleeds out and that water starts to turn to red, James starts to sift away. As he becomes unconscious, you know, he feels himself leave his body. You know, it's such a weird feeling. It feels like he's just a floating head, just a consciousness, really, just nothing, nothingness. There's no, you know, just a thought, floating in oblivion, floating everywhere, floating around in oblivion. Nothing to attach yourself to, just infinity, just floating around in there. Just a conscious thought. Then eventually that fades away. And then James wakes up. And James is in this really nice, really comforting, really quiet, serene, real like safe feeling place. It's a white room, walls are white, furniture's white, with one black flat screen television sitting on the side. And then flowers, these flowers. They were his daughter's favorite flowers, and that's the only thing that stands out from everything else that's white in the room. Aside from the television, of course. And on the television is a video, the same video James spent his entire rest of his life after that tragic moment in his life. That moment of defeat where he was exposed and lost everything, lost his fame, fortune. That same video he watched over and over again was playing on that TV. And James is just sitting there puzzled. But for some reason, it doesn't feel bad anymore. He feels at peace over here. And his daughter walks in, and wow, at that moment, James just is froze. I mean, he doesn't know what the hell to make of this. His daughter's dead, and she just walks in. And all of a sudden, he can't stop the goddamn tears from falling from his eyes. I mean, they're coming out like somebody broke a pipe under the sink, just it's flowing. And his daughter runs over and just grabs him, and they hold each other for what feels like infinity. Just squeezing and holding each other. And then she lets go, he lets go, and they sit down. And he's like, I don't understand, I thought you were dead. Like, what are you doing here? And she looks at him and she says, well, Dad, it's whatever you want it to be. She's like, I'm here just to tell you I love you, and I'm here to tell you that you're not done yet. Dad, you have to fix what you broke. You have to live before you die. You haven't done that. This guy's still crying. This is the moment that he would have sold his soul to the devil for. And here he is. And he just looks at her and he's like, baby, He's like, baby, I'm sorry. He's like, I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry for not being there for you. I'm sorry for failing you. I'm sorry. All I want to say is I'm sorry. You forgive me. I just should have been there for you. Please forgive me. Oh, she looks at him and she says, Dad, I know. Don't worry, there's nothing to be sorry about. Come over here. And then she gives him one last big hug. And while they're hugging and squeezing, she whispers in his ear and she says, finish fixing what you broke. Live, Dad. For me, live before you die. And then she fades away. He feels her just fade away. He wakes up, and James is in the hospital now. James is in the hospital, and his ex-wife is sitting next to him, the woman he blamed, for them getting caught and then couldn't, held all this animosity towards, and he saw her sitting next to him, and she was crying, and she was so excited. Everyone ran into the room. They were so excited to see him come out of the coma he was in. Like, he just woke up, and everyone was so happy, and here he was. He had a second chance now. He got to have that moment with his daughter, so he's got that closure. And now he has a new determination, new motivation. Now James Gell is determined to fulfill his daughter's words, to fix what was broken, to fix his marriage, to fix his life, to let go of the past, and to move forward and to live, goddammit, before he dies. He gets, once he gets admitted from the hospital, or released from the hospital. He gets released from the hospital later on, and a couple of days later, him and his wife, ex-wife, which soon they'll be married again, and they go to have breakfast at a diner. And while they're sitting there eating and enjoying their meal. A strange man walks in. This guy's real well-dressed guy. Wearing a hat, fedora. Guy looks like he popped out of the 50s, you know? Like one of those characters. Looks like a real mobster type. Guy's got some tattoos around him. Well-dressed nonetheless. Real sharp character. The guy walks in, I mean, this is the type of person that just demands the attention of the room. And he sits down right at their table. I mean, they don't know this guy from a hole in the wall. And he just sits down. Like he's known these people his whole life. And he sits there and he puts his arms on the table and he says, James. And James is looking at him like, how the hell does this guy know me? He's like, James, I believe you have something that belongs to me. And I've come to collect that. James looks at me, he's like, I'm sorry, I don't know you. I don't know what I have that belongs to you. The guy's like, well, I believe you have a book. And I let you come collect that book if you don't mind. Lo and behold, James just happened to have that book by his side. James takes that book and he's still puzzled. He doesn't know what to make of all this, so he's just running on autopilot, you know? He just hands the book to the guy. The guy takes the book, smiles, and says, well, James, I hope this book, you got what you needed out of it. James looks at him and he says, well, I think I have. The guy smiles and he's like, if you don't mind, I'll excuse myself. There's someone else that I need to lend this book to. The guy gets up, leaves the room, leaves the restaurant. Once he leaves, you know, it's almost like James just feels this weight off. Once again, you know, he realizes what he's got to do. You know, James grabs his wife. You know, she doesn't know what's going on. He's like, come on, I got to do something. He runs back to his, you know, his hellhole apartment. Jumps in there, grabs everything. All that memorabilia, newspaper clippings, pictures of him with celebrities, all this stuff that he couldn't let go of, all this stuff he clinged to, including that VHS tape that he just kept watching. And he grabs all that stuff. Stuffs it all in the car. Everything, just takes everything, puts in the car and drives out to the nearest beach. James goes out onto the beach and they have those garbage cans, you know, where people on the beach can throw out their garbage, those steel drum garbage cans, and he just stuffs everything inside that garbage can and lights that mother effer up. Boom. Lights everything on fire like a bonfire. You see these big flames jumping out of the garbage can with smoke filling the air. And you know, that's where we end. We see our moment ends with James standing there like a silhouette with that fire burning and the smoke filling the air. As the sun rises, he stays there all night. You see the sun rising. Creating that silhouette. James standing there as the sun rises. You see the outline of James with the fire and the smoke rising. And you just hear his voice off in the distance, looking up into the sky, saying, I promise, I'm gonna live before I die. And that ends our tale. I hope you guys enjoyed this story, and I look forward to telling you another one day.